Bay beaches and why some people worry that protecting the wildlife on them could mean less beach access.
Georgetown homelessness, the mayor saying why Georgetown has more homeless than other towns.
The Riptide Pool Bar may have served their last drink in Ocean City, why some people are already saying goodbye.
And we have a clear skyline for right now. Temperatures are tumbling quickly, and we may have a significant frosty feel to the morning.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
Plans to protect wildlife here, raising questions about beach access on the coast. Good evening. I'm Christina D. Robertis.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. We begin tonight with a proposal to protect coastal wildlife over the next 10 years. Living on the coast means sharing the environment with a variety of different species. Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken was in our Coast Copter earlier and shows us what protecting that wildlife could mean for people that live here.
We are flying over Slaughter Beach, home to some of those species like the red knot and the horseshoe crab. Some surf fishermen say they're worried that protecting that wildlife could mean less beach access.
For example, in a draft of DNREC's 2025 Wildlife Action Plan, the red knot species is listed as endangered in Delaware and as a high state responsibility. One fisherman says he worries that DNREC's plan to protect their habitat may mean more beaches have to be closed off to the public. Lauren Garber says she thinks protection is important, but wants to be able to enjoy the outdoors where the nature is.
I think it's going to be tough for the locals to handle that. We've had parts of Cape Henlopen shut down for parts of the summer that then limit beach access for the entire summer until the fall because it limits the amount of beach space available for surf fishermen.
We reached out to DNREC, who say, quote, DNREC will not be commenting on the draft Delaware Wildlife Action Plan, but the public is encouraged to have their say and provide as much feedback about and input for the plan as they wish to contribute for consideration, unquote.
If you want to comment on DNREC's proposed Wildlife Action Plan that may affect some of these beaches, you can provide your feedback through November 15th, and we will have that linked on coasttv.com. Reporting from the Coast Copter, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
And that Wildlife Action Plan that Emma mentioned will serve as a 10-year strategy guide for conserving Delaware's fish, wildlife, and habitats through 2035. The plan serves to identify species and habitats in need of conservation. 2 public listening sessions will be held for the meeting. One's going to be October 28th at 1 p.m. That's at the Little Creek Hunter Education Training Center in Dover. And the other meeting is virtual. It's going to be on October 29th at 6 p.m. The mayor of Georgetown and one homeless advocate in town are agreeing on why the town sees more homelessness than other towns and cities in Sussex County. Coast TV reporter Brandon Ferguson joins us live now in Georgetown. Brandon, the mayor says this is because Georgetown is the county seat.
Christina, Mayor Bill West and the founder of the Shepherd's Office here in Georgetown say because of the services in Georgetown, like all of the courthouses downtown, and Georgetown is also home to the Delaware Department of Health and Social Services, that people flock here to Georgetown because of this. But Mayor West saying not everyone is using these services as intended. Some people are staying in town instead and using drugs and alcohol. One professor we ran into today says this problem starts at the top.
You're not going to have a perfect world, and when you don't have a perfect economy, because I'm a business professor, I can tell you right now, it's not going to change much. First, you got to go.
Mayor Bill West telling Coast TV that Georgetown is actively sending people out of town that are not using these services as intended. He also says the town is not overlooking this issue. Live in Georgetown, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, have you ever been harassed by a homeless person?
Let's take a look at the results here. 73% say yes, they have. 27% though say no.
We have an opportunity to go ahead and vote on this. If you want to, you can go to coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile app.
Now we're taking a live look outside into Rehoboth Beach, and we're going to check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams on our forecast.
So right now we are actually beginning to kind of transition to a much frostier feel outside. And actually this is evidence of that because of just how clearing out it is. And the winds are going to start backing off a little bit. That combination is going to make us have to remind us how do we deal with and usually have to accumulate frost in our area. And we'll go over that in our main weather segment. But for right now, we're going to drop back to 54 degrees by 9 o'clock under mostly clear skies. Now, just so you know, it's going to be chilly for overnight. Obviously, we have patchy inland frost is a real possibility. And then for the weekend, we're looking at sunshine. It's going to be clear. Now, we do have some gusty winds for the beaches, okay? I mean, we're looking at a small craft advisory staying in effect, okay, for us. And it is in effect for us along the coastal region. And then it's also staying active for us over on the other side in Cambridge. So we have gusty winds, but they're on the edges. The inland areas, not so much. And so when that happens, we have to deal with possibility of frost. Now, just so you'll know, typically we would have our first frost right around the 23rd of this month and first freeze around the 10th. But we are a little bit ahead of schedule, and we'll talk about that coming up in your full forecast.
All right, thank you, Paul. Well, Delaware State Police are investigating a deadly single car crash that happened in Milford last night. Troopers say around 8:30 a Ford Mustang was traveling north on Bay Road, and DSP says the car left the east side of the road, hit a tree, and then caught fire. The reason is still under investigation, and the driver has not been identified yet. They died at the scene.
The Riptide Pool Bar and Flagship Hotel could be closing their doors a little sooner than anybody expected. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Ocean City. Kevin, Riptide Pool and Bar had one last drink Wednesday night.
Charlie, the Riptide Pool Bar was getting ready to say goodbye for the season, but that celebration turned to shock. This may have been the bar's last day for good. On March 19, 2024, site plans were approved to replace the entirety of the Flagship Hotel with a new hotel called Spring Hill Suites. Scott Hall thought the Riptide Pool Bar would stay open for one more summer. But then this, a post on the Riptide Facebook saying that they were, quote, blindsided and found out that there is a possibility this will be our actual last day ever. We tried contacting Riptide, but they gave no response. Hall now thinks this could be the end.
It's always been a local hangout, and it's always been a lot of fun with the ocean view and all the people.
Hundreds of comments were on Riptide's post, and some hope that they're able to relocate. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
According to a tweet from Attorney General Pam Bondi, Meta has removed a Facebook group that shared information about ICE agents in Chicago after Department of Justice requests. According to the New York Times, the ICE citing Chicagoland group had over 80,000 members before its removal. Bondi said it was to target agents. The Times says a Meta speaker believed it violated policies against, quote, coordinated harm. Last week, Apple and Google removed ICE tracking apps from their app stores. President Trump is thinking of doubling his promised bailout to Argentina to $40 billion.
The president of Argentina is a close ally of President Trump and just visited the White House this week.
NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has more on why that has Democrats and some Republicans wondering what happened to America first.
It's day 16 of the government shutdown with no end in sight. But President Trump this week offering to help a political ally.
He's MAGA all the way. It's make Argentina great again.
Trump warmly greeting Argentina's president, Javier Milei, at the White House, promising a $20 billion bailout for that country's struggling economy. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying the U.S. will exchange U.S. dollars for pesos, and the money will be paid back, though he gave few details.
When we can help our neighbors, we're making tremendous progress in South America.
Now Bessent says the administration is working on another $20 billion to help Argentina. And it's that extra bailout that has even some Republicans crying foul.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. You essentially have to borrow the money from China to send it to Argentina. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Trump ally, taking her anger to social media, writing, with Americans getting decimated with a high cost of living, how is it America first to bail out a foreign country? Democrats accusing the president of caring more about Milei than the health of the American people during the government shutdown.
Rather than fix the health care crisis devastating Americans here at home, Trump's doubling down on sending $40 billion to a right-wing MAGA strongman in Argentina,
The Treasury Secretary says the extra $20 billion will come from the private sector, not taxpayers. But Argentina has defaulted on its debt obligations 3 times over the past 25 years. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Washington.
A referendum that could generate over $6.1 million annually is coming to Caesar Rodney School District voters and what it could bring to the community.
And we take a look overnight. We're going to drop into the 40s pretty quickly, and we're watching out for a frosty feel that's going to be in the air tomorrow morning.
But first, in this week's Coastal Connections, we'll show you a Delaware teacher who's finding new ways to connect to students. That's next.
Every teacher makes a difference, but some of them do find a way to break through, to really connect with their students. And in today's Coastal Connections, we take a look at one teacher, a new young fresh face in the education game, who's finding a way to stand out. Over at Sussex Central High School, something fun is happening.
That was so much better. I actually heard your voices that time.
Something loud and something animated. Thomas Oxborough is a Year 2 teacher. He's the choir director, the assistant marching band director, and he also works with the school's drum line. But it's the way he does it that's drawing attention.
1, 2, 3.
It's really the energy of the kids. When I'm working with them and the music's just really sounding good, it feeds into my energy for the day.
With flailing arms and perfect tempo, Oxborough is connecting with his students.
You got it so close, you just rushed it a little bit.
Making music is supposed to be fun. This is a class where we're learning all these different strategies and we're being academics, but we're also socializing. We're supposed to be having fun in the process.
1, 2, here we go.
Oxborough fostered his love of both music and education right here on Delmarva as a graduate of Indian River High School.
A lot of my past teachers, I really enjoyed a lot of the passion that they put into it, the musical experiences that I got to work in.
Crash, crash, crash.
And now he's bringing his high-energy form of teaching to the next generation, along with a belief that what happens out on the field can translate into the classroom.
Music has a really strong power in doing so for everybody and keeping them focused throughout their other academics and their other daily lifestyles. So I really bring this energy into the music field here because of that.
Inevitably, some of the students that cross through Mr. Oxborough's classes will be inspired. Maybe they'll even pursue music after high school.
When they have a teacher that approaches them and shares a passion for music, it's almost infectious.
But most of them won't. Still, he feels like what students learn about music will help them in life.
It's a win.
33 to 39.
Which is part of the reason Mr. Oxborough is such an advocate for music programs.
I only have this for one time.
Protect the arts. Please protect the arts. Cherish the arts. Fund the arts.
A passion that bleeds through when he's with his students out on the field.
When I'm working with my drum line and they're just really in the groove, they're locked in the pocket, and I just find myself really grooving with it because my groove feeds off the energy with them. So now we're just going back and forth and we're gonna see where the energy takes us. Sky's the limit with it.
After all, isn't that what you want from your teachers?
I feel like I just get so encaptured in the music.
Genuine excitement and enthusiasm.
I'm really seeing the hard work y'all are putting into it. I'm seeing y'all practice, so I'm really appreciating this right now.
Because between teaching, planning,
it's kind of what the drill will look like,
participating, and whatever this is, Thomas Oxborough has it.
An interesting combination of things happening. Clear skies, temperatures tumbling kind of quickly, and we could see a little frost ahead of schedule, specifically for the folks who are throughout the inland areas, not necessarily those who are closer to the beach or the water. Now, in Ocean City, we are seeing the high pressure system really just controlling our weather pattern, keeping it just not a cloud in the sky. And we are going to stay clear for the rest of the night. We'll drop back to about 54 degrees throughout the overnight period. Now, here's where we stand right now with our live radar. We're looking very clear. Now, what you're seeing around here, this is all connected to the winds. Now, these are winds that are primarily going to be for the beaches, not the inland areas, and that's why we have the difference, okay? Too much wind will prevent frost from happening, pardon me. So we're looking at small craft advisory for us, so Lewis Beach, Ocean View, from Ocean City all the way down towards Chincoteague. That's 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And we're looking at the same concern for us for the folks in Castle Haven, Cambridge, Thomas Madison, as well as over towards St. Michael. Now, that's going to be a concern till about lunchtime tomorrow. But overall, we're still staying relatively clear. We have cold air that's knocking on our door just to the northwest of us. We're looking at frost concerns where you see the darker purple. Those are freeze concerns that we have in place. But overnight, here at home, here's where we are. You see where I'm talking about? We're at 48 near 50 degrees for the beaches. But as you go inland, we're looking at a 5-degree difference downward, okay, to 43, possibly going to go to 41 or 40. Now, how does that work? Well, see, you can have a temperature of 36 degrees. It doesn't have to be freezing for frost to form. Now, with the colder air sinks, and then the ground temperature is going to be 32. Now, where we take the temperature is actually 5 feet above, which is how we take the temperature officially. Now, water molecules form on a frozen surface and freezing and forming some ice crystals. Clear skies, light winds, moisture in the air. That's kind of debatable, but the rest of that is working in favor. So we're 10 degrees cooler in Wallops Island, 7 to 8 degrees cooler throughout most of Delmarva. Temperature starting off in the 60s. Now, for the whole key is that we are into this, winds are pushing out of the north and going with the wind gusts, and we're looking at the winds picking up momentum for the beaches, not so much for the inland areas as much. So that's why we're kind of walking that tightrope. 6 o'clock in the morning, temperatures in the lower 40s, but clear and 63, lots of sunshine for Friday. Saturday, mid-40s, but Saturday afternoon, we see the cloud cover building back up again. Our chances of rain will escalate mainly on Monday, then drop off dramatically after that. So here's Sunday as the rain is approaching, and then as we go into Monday, we're looking at it pulling through and really hitting the mark for us early Monday morning for the commute, and then it lifts out of the way relatively quickly. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We're going to call for that rain early in the morning for us on Monday, but that's after we stair-step our way to the mid-70s by Sunday. Then we drop off again Monday with another cold front and another area of rain.
Okay, thank you, Paul. A referendum will soon be coming to voters in the Caesar Rodney School District. It was recently approved by the Board of Education, and the proposal heads to the ballot on February 9th. If passed, it's expected to generate about $6.1 million a year, costing the average homeowner around $274 more annually. District leaders say the increase is long overdue, with the last successful referendum in 2015. They say the funding would support safety upgrades, student programs, staff recruitment, and transportation. However, neighbors remain divided.
Coming up on DSN at 5:30, tune in for Scoops and Scores. Tonight at 6, Wicomico travels to Kent Island in football. Then catch the final score at 11. Along with Wicomico football, here are your DSN Plus exclusives at 6 p.m. Queen Anne's County travels to James M. Bennett in football. Also at 6 p.m. boys soccer kicks off when the Sallies host Appoquinimink. At 6:30, more football kicking off when CSD travels to Snow Hill. And also at 6:30, Cape Henlopen hosting Caesar Rodney in boys soccer. Coming up, see how the Berlin Police Department is stepping up their task force. Stay tuned on CoastTV News at 5.
The Berlin Police Department happily announcing its newest member of the department, Bird 1, or Berlin Drone 1. It's a DJI Matrix 1 drone that will help the department in public safety-related tasks. Anything from missing persons or fleeing criminals to crash scene photography. 2 officers have already completed their training and they're licensed pilots, with 2 more on the way.
And now here's the live look into Ocean City. One more check on the forecast coming up after the break.
Beautiful, gorgeous weather in Dover will fall to 52 degrees as early as 9 o'clock. Couple of advisories to pass along to you. Small craft advisory force along the entire coastal region. Watching out for 25-mile-per-hour winds everywhere we go. Our umbrella giveaway winner is Leslie Logsdon of Milton. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. You can keep it with your forecast by calling our weather line, 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Yeah, we're going to be on the chilly side tomorrow morning and Friday going into Saturday morning.
All right, that's okay. Thanks for tracking all this for us, Paul, and thanks for joining us
Charlie?
for Coast TV News at
Why
5.
you looking at me like that, Charlie?
He comes with that cold weather news. I don't know what to do about it. I'm getting to that time of year. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app so you can follow Paul's cold weather.
And Inside Edition is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.
Give me the